35 seconds left. The promised land is 8 yards away. That's a pass, goes Stabler. Looking.
Stabler was going down and threw it up, and they call it sea of hands. There was a whole bunch of hands going for that ball.
This is Bill King at the Oakland Coliseum, the home of the Oakland Raiders. Today they have to take on the two-time defending Super Bowl champion. It has all the overtones of a classic matchup.
On December 21st, 1974, the AFC West champion Oakland Raiders opened the postseason against the Miami Dolphins, the AFC East champs. The 52,817 fans present at the Oakland-Alameda County Coliseum were set to witness an extraordinary event. Miami, winners of Super Bowls 7 and 8, led by head coach Don Shula. The Silver and Black, sporting a league-best 12-2 regular season record, guided by John Madden. The game was billed as Super Bowl 8.5, and only one of these outstanding teams could emerge victorious.
When you looked at the Dolphin team, it was loaded with players. Loaded with Hall of Fame players, great players, and so were we.
The stakes were enormously high. The Raiders had, as they always had, a great contending football team. We were the defending champions. It was an enormously important game to us.
After the Dolphins' perfect season in 1972, proud wearers of the Silver and Black snapped Miami's 18-game winning streak in Week 2 of the '73 campaign with a 12-7 victory. However, Miami got their revenge in the AFC Championship game later that season.
They had knocked us out of the playoffs the previous year. And so anytime somebody beats you in the playoffs, you feel like you have a little bit of a score to settle. And we wanted to win badly.
The Miami Dolphins, looking to be the first team ever to play in 4 straight Super Bowls and win 3 straight. They are a team that has been through it all.
Because it was the Raiders, you knew no matter whether you were favored or they were favored, that didn't mean squat. Throw that right out. Because when those two teams got together, with those two head coaches, anything could happen.
And what does a home stadium mean? The Raiders have been in this Coliseum 9 years. They won 55, lost 11, and tied 3.
When we played Miami down there, they had all the white hankies. I mean, all the Miami Dolphin fans came over the white hankies, and they had just this, sea of white when you played in Miami. So our fans decided that they were going to have the black hanky.
Every woman came with black bras, black underwear, black everything. And when they introduced the defense,
linebacker, number 41, Philadelphia.
I looked up in the stands and I saw all the black. It was crazy.
Everyone has a black hanky and everyone's waving it. So we're pumped up.
There's nothing to wait for. Let's start off and stay after the whole game. Let's go!
So we kick off. I thought, great, we kick off, we'll kick them in the hole.
Here's a sidewinding kick, high end over end, not real deep, drifting up. Moore takes it on the 11th. The rookie up to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, 30. Wears out to the left, the 35, 40, gets a great block, the 50, up the left side, being chased by Jakovenko, the 30, the 20, the 15, the 10, touchdown Miami! Holy Toledo, what an opener!
And they score before the people even sit down. I mean, the people were still standing up from the national anthem, and the score was 7-0.
Crowd has been quieted.
I know how to shut them up. I got a key block by Don Nottingham that sprung me, and I saw a path out to the left. I hit it.
He broke through, he wheeled out to the left and found the lane, and Jakovenko could not catch it.
And was able to outrun everybody to the end zone. So I go 89 yards for a touchdown. I get us off to a good start, and I think we're on our way.
The Miami Dolphins lead the Raiders 7-0 with only 15 seconds of this football game having elapsed.
John kind of looked at me, and I kind of looked at John, and John said it's going to be a long day.
After the opening fireworks, the game turned into a classic hard-hitting Raiders-Dolphins battle.
When you played the Raiders in a playoff game, you better have a good heavy lunch and don't plan any dinner. That's how intense the Raider-Dolphin competition was.
Well, we gotta get a score. It's gonna be number one. You gotta play like you're number one.
The score remained 7-0 until Oakland got the ball for their second possession of the second quarter. And the Raiders responded behind their machine-like offensive line. Art Shell, Gene Upshaw, Giamotto, George Bueller, and John Vella.
Davis skitters past the line of scrimmage to the 50 to the 45. Still on his feet at the 40. Touchdown from behind at the 37-yard line. First and 10 Oakland. Their first penetration of the day into Miami real estate. It's Tingley time at the Coliseum in Oakland. Everybody on edge. Miami leading 7-0. Saber drops straight back. Sets up. Punt. Lobs one down the middle for Smith. Touchdown Raiders!
We had scouted them, and when I took that inside release, inside the end, Bonacani would cover me, and he couldn't cover me. He wasn't fast enough, and I just blew right past him, and the rest was history.
The crowd comes apart at the scenes as Charlie Smith catches one from 32 yards down the middle. 7:39 to go. Second quarter. Scoreboard showing Miami 7, Oakland 7.
Miami came right back to put 3 points on the board to reclaim the lead. The Raiders then turned to a future Hall of Famer, the sure-handed Fred Biletnikoff.
Stabler fires one at Fred Scott at the 45.
Freddie's great money ball player who always played well with a lot of money on the table. You got to get the ball in his hands.
Stabler in a straight drop back, gets the blocking up in the pocket, going deep to Biletnikoff down the right side with Foley. Foley backs it into the air. Biletnikoff makes the catch, but he's out of bounds. Holy Toledo, what a play! Foley got a piece of the ball. Biletnikoff followed it and caught it, but was ruled to have been out of bounds on the play.
After Biletnikoff's marvelous leaping catch was nullified, the Raiders moved in closer, and number 12 Stabler again went wide right to the reliable number 25.
Stabler back, looks left, throws right. Biletnikoff, a leaping catch, touchdown Oakland! Holy Toledo!
I played 15 years, and it's the best catch that I've ever seen. Tim Foley pulls his right arm behind him, and Freddie leans out and one-hands the ball out of bounds and brings it back in and still gets both feet in. Phenomenal catch.
Frank Biletnikoff just made a miracle catch with Tim Foley all over it.
Somewhere along the line, somebody's got to make a play. You had to battle a guy on top of you. You had to make a catch, and then you had to stay in bounds. It was something that showed that you just wanted it more than the other guy.
And for the first time, the Oakland Raiders lead the Miami Dolphins. Scoreboard shows Oakland 14, Miami 10.
Then that game became nuts. Man went back and forth, and it was a war out there.
Crazy back into the pocket, backpedaling. Here comes the rush. He rifles it. A man falls all alone. Warfield makes the catch for a touchdown for Miami. Miami 16, Oakland 14.
Miami would add a field goal to increase the lead.
We have 4:54 to go. Miami 19, Oakland 14.
And with under 5 minutes left in the game, the Silver and Black would then turn to third-year speedster Cliff Branch and the big strike.
Cliff had world-class speed. He'd get off the bus yelling for the ball. He'd be in the locker room, Kenny, I got this guy. Kenny, I own this guy. Kenny, throw me the ball. He wanted the ball, and you could feel his confidence.
Stabler going deep to Branch up the left side, head-and-head battle, and he makes a diving catch at the 30. He gets up, nobody's touching. He's at the 20, he's at the 10. Touchdown Raiders! The Oakland Coliseum is coming apart here.
Cliff was one of the best deep receivers in football, and we just had to think if there was any form of one-on-one out there, no matter where they were, just throw it up and let him go get it.
This third-year Oakland Raider just made probably the most important catch of his football life.
I was lucky to get this picture, and I thought this play actually iced a win I've got Cliff, and then look at the fans. They're as much a part of the photo as he is. The roar from the crowd, and you could barely hear yourself think.
And so, the Oakland Raiders, a team that has always had a time bomb hidden in its hip pocket, ready to lay on somebody, got that time bomb exploded that time on the most incredible catch of the year by Cliff Branch of the Raiders. 4 minutes and 37 seconds remaining.
The Raiders' defense needed a big stop, but the back-and-forth battle continued as the seasoned Dolphins marched down the field.
And now comes heart-stopping football. The Dolphins, a well-oiled offensive machine.
It was going to come down to who was going to have the ball last with enough time on the clock. And true enough, we moved down the field. We got everything going well.
Doc is running over people, knocked down at the 23-yard line. And now the Dolphins are in field goal range, 2:35 to go.
The Dolphins were now in position to run down the clock and kick a game-winning field goal.
You got your premium is the kicker. Your premium kicks the field goal. We lose.
John Madden pacing nervously on the sideline. Gets him alone, sends him to the right. He's turning the corner behind Little at the 20, down to the 15. He rams one man out of the way at the 10. He goes all the way. Touchdown, Dolphins!
Benny Malone breaks 3 or 4 tackles and scores, and everybody's like, no, not yet. He scored too fast. But how do you blame a player for putting points on the board when he could?
And so the Dolphins are back in front, 26-21.
So now the bad news is that we were behind, and the good news is we still had time.
And now the Raiders are 68 yards from the promised land and 2 minutes and 1 second remaining to do it.
Kenny was as cool as a huddle in training camp. There was never doubt in his voice, and you feed off the confidence of that quarterback.
Stabler on first down. Here comes a blitz by Ball, but it's picked up. He throws complete to Moore. Ooh, is he decked.
We always are a pretty confident bunch. Given enough time, and certainly 2 minutes is plenty, to go and get it done.
Stabler going back to pass. He's looking. He throws. Let the top open at the 50. Makes the catch. Down to the 43, and he's blocked.
We knew they'd play soft. That was a rhythm of theirs late in the game, and we were hitting Blitnikoff with ends, and we drove down there.
He throws to Fred. Takes a great catch at the 25. What a pattern.
Nobody I would rather have back there at quarterback for this final drive than Kenny Stabler.
And a quick throw out of Branch. Makes the catch. Gets out of bounds at the 20.
He loved it. He thrived on that. I mean, I don't know how you can thrive on that, but he did.
Oakland roared back with a methodical march down the field. The Raiders were at Miami's 8-yard line with 35 seconds remaining, as their hopes seemed to hang on the most slender of threads.
Everyone is congregated down to the corner of the field. We're there, and everyone's just kind of watching, really thinking we're going to be able to pull this thing off.
Oh, we're on the sideline, believing totally in Kenny, but you just never know when your luck is up.
The crowd teaching itself for it hopes an explosion. This football game has been all anyone conceived it could be. In truth, it's been what everybody said it would be. The mini Super Bowl, if it gets any better than this, I don't know what it'll be. That's a pass, goes Stabler. Looking.
Kenny was looking over on our side to the right side, and the coverage just took everything away.
And then Vern Den Herder flushes me, and my first look is back to the left. I see Clarence, and at that point in time, Den Herder gets me around the legs, and I lose any kind of velocity on the ball, and it just kind of trickles out of there.
He lobs it up.
And the ball is fluttering in the air.
He's under the gun. He's tied. He throws.
He throws to Clarence Davis with 4 guys around him.
He flips the ball out, and it goes to the guy with the worst hands on the team.
Clarence couldn't catch a cold.
He runs. He's at the 15. He throws. It is A touchdown Raiders! Touchdown Raiders! I can't even see the receiver. Clarence Davis. It looks like Clarence Davis. He's being mobbed.
How we caught that ball, I have no clue.
How Clarence held on to the ball, how he caught it, nobody knows, but he did it. You know, who caught that? Who was that? It was Clarence. Get out of here.
Stabler had to loop the ball up because he was hit as he threw, but Davis got there first.
It was a dying duck, a terrible throw, probably should have been intercepted. And Clarence made the play because he wanted the ball more than anybody else.
He shot, he throws, it is! He caught it! He caught it!
It was a miracle, and it went through 2 or 3 people that the ball went through their hands or past them by just mere inches. The sea of hands, well, you know, that says it all.
Davis, the undersized running back with a huge heart, stood tall in this big game and made the play of his life to add to the annals of the greatest plays in pro football history.
That it was Clarence in the sea of hands. It couldn't have happened to a better guy. I was so happy that he got the recognition for the athlete that he was.
And as a coach, you see the rush come on, and you say, oh, no, you know, don't take a sack. And then you see him get rid of it. Oh, good, to get rid of it. And then you see all those Dolphins. Oh, gee, he threw it right into him. And then Clarence Davis catches it.
There are 26 seconds left in the great dynasty of the Miami Dolphins. Hangs by the slim thread. They need 3 to win it.
The Oakland-Alameda County Coliseum was a scene out of a movie script. It was pandemonium, but the Dolphins still had one last chance.
Reese rolls out to the left. He goes way up the middle. Intercepted through the piano at the 50. Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory. The crowd going wild here at the Coliseum.
I got the interception, and I knew how happy John Madden was. And I made sure nobody took that ball from me until I gave it to coach. That was his ball, because he wanted it so bad.
Piano gets Madden the football. He displays it for all to see.
John was ecstatic. He was happy as hell running up and down the sideline. But that was John. He got more excited than the players.
I was just so happy for John, but I wasn't going to get in there to try to lift John because you needed a crane to lift him up.
John Madden with that precious football in his big, meaty right hand. All 270 pounds of it, hoisted atop the shoulders of his players.
That, to me, was the most emotional game I ever played in my life.
The Miami Dolphins are dethroned.
Every time that I reflected on that game, Stabler falling down, the ball going end over end, thinking that we're going to intercept the ball, and then Clarence Davis making the catch. It was just like a nightmare to me.
Nobody else could have beat us. When you talk about the Raiders and the Dolphins and the competition that existed between them, what finer compliment can you say than it came down to the closing seconds and the closing inches of one play? What an exhilarating example of a great sport.
You start thinking about all the plays in the sea of hands, and that's kind of the attitude of that team. Just find a way to win. It doesn't matter who, as long as you do.
This was Raiders football. Great players, great coaches, great plays, and great games. 50 years later, this magnificent playoff triumph, known as the Sea of Hands game, lives on in Raiders lore and remains one of the most iconic moments in pro football history.
That game, from the opening kickoff until Clarence Davis's catch was a roller coaster ride. It was, you can never say, well, I knew it was going to happen that way. No one knew that. You're up and down, and pretty soon guys are carrying you off the field, and you have no idea what the hell you just did. That was one of the greatest football games ever played.